All right. I think all should be working fine by now. Let me quickly confirm if that is indeed the case. All right. I think all should be working fine by now. Yeah, indeed, everything works, so we can start. So let's roll. Let's roll the tape. My name is High Tech, Crypto Talk here. Jesus is King, and let's start. So this is the end. That's the title of this live stream. This is second live stream today, maybe even third, depending on your time zone. Anyway, so Bitcoin keeps falling, right? We breached 90K again. We were above, so minus 4.17% in the minus since today. And generally speaking, when we get apparently I'm back online. Now I should be back online. Sorry guys for that slight interruption here. Hopefully the internet connection gets a little bit better now, because it wasn't really that good just a minute ago. But yeah, let me continue with rolling the tape. Still not the greatest, but it's a little bit better than it was. Anyway, so yeah, usually that is what happens when the bullish hammer is not making it, and there is a bearish follow through in form of a red daily, then it means it's not over yet. Of course, Bitcoin will not fall to zero from here. You should not be afraid of it. The chances for that are very, 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 very small. You will probably never see Bitcoin for literally falling to zero. At least not for a very, very long time. That you should not be worried about. But yeah, it can. Who knows? Maybe it could goes to low 80s like this, but it doesn't have to. It can literally, find the bottom within the next couple of percent lower. Given how the vast majority of the space is already, let's say, burnt with what's been going on in the crypto space. Given how bearish they are, given how the best inverse indicators are forecasting further decline, it's actually increasingly more risky to bet on this market going lower. And then, for example, when we go over where was it? Here. So this is Binance liquidation map. As you see, overwhelming majority is trying to short the market right now. So that means, since that's the case, that means they give a high incentive for market makers to liquidate them. The disproportion is quite vast here. As you see, take a look at larger time frame. There is a huge discrepancy in between how many people are betting on the market going lower and how many people are betting on the market going higher. So since market makers have the power to influence the result, they can simply bet, on the opposite end of majority and literally sweep all of that liquidity they are feeding the market with. And that is 99% of the time how it happens. It's like I was explaining it many times over. It's just like if you were owning two football teams that are playing against each other, and you know that people are betting disproportionately into favor of one of the teams. So then probably you will try to find a way to bet against that, and you will arrange a loss of that team. right? And when it comes to the derivatives market, there is no such regulations. Let's say market makers can manipulate it as they please, and that's why it happens so frequently. So-called short squeeze. So it's very. I think you are not putting yourself in the strongest of setups if you attempt to short this market now. I think you're up for a very nasty surprise once this thing rebounds. And so far, as you see, the altcoin market is somewhat following suit after what Bitcoin does. It also has a -5%. So on Bitcoin there is -4, on other chart -5. So today altcoins are not resisting as much as I would like them to be resisting. But as you see, they are still in this very handsome zone of thick support in the upper zone of the support band. So yeah, until we do not come down and demonstrate this market has problems with getting back up, I think you should remain cautiously bullish, as Alessio Rastani says. he has that saying. He uses it quite a lot. I'm cautiously bullish. And yeah, I also understand if you don't really believe this market will get back up, especially the altcoin market, because majority of the altcoin market has been down for the last 4 years, and it actually penetrates all-time low after all-time low in many cases. But nothing falls down forever, right? At some point, we'll have to see a rebound, some sort of a rebound, and from there, from that ultimate bottom, we will see one of the greatest rallies ever. So I think it's worth the wait, to be honest. And like I said, at this point, it's actually better to already stay in the market, throw something additional on occasional dips, and within the next 6 to 12 months, highly likely it will turn out to be a very good strategy, because this market is already immensely beaten up, badly beaten up. Guys, by the way, don't forget about subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so. This channel is a little bit different than any other channel, because there is a coin attached to this channel, attached to me as influencer, that you can invest in, and that coin is called Hightech. Is this coin here? And right now, it's actually presenting you an amazing opportunity. Those prices, I think, are very attractive to pick it up at. And yeah, this is the only project I promote here. I will stay with this project forever, and it will stay that way. I'll keep recording content about crypto, promoting this coin pretty much forever. Literally influencer in the package together with it. And that's something very unique. I don't think anyone has tried something like this. All of my YouTube channels, I've got two. This is the small one. The big one I run in my mother tongue. All of those channels have still a lot of room to grow, a lot of room for growth. So at some point it will correlate. Right now there is a bullish divergence in between how my channels perform and how this market performs, because my channels grow, especially my main one. It grows very nicely. This one is somewhat slow, but I think at some point it will catch up, and then at some point this market will also catch up with all of the charts that my social media show. So yeah, just be here before everybody else, before that happens. and you'll be set. So yeah, the link to its liquidity pool you'll find in the live chat in the description section of this live stream. I think this is literally one of the best and safe bets on the whole of internet. Simply because of how stubborn I am. I'm turbo stubborn. Yeah, I'm probably the most stubborn individual you ever came across, and that means this market here will be one of the most renowned meme coin markets in the sphere. Sorry, but in the meantime, yeah, let's go back to general crypto market situation. And yeah, I'm definitely not terrified, especially knowing that 1st of December we will be starting QE. I mean, the Federal Reserve will be starting QE. They already said it, already announced it. This is not a speculation. This is raw fact. So every single time they started it, the same week, altcoin season was born. Each time. On Bitcoin dominance, and god damn it, I mean, TradingView pisses me off big time because it always erases my trending line, my support lines. It's really pissing off. But anyway, as you see, we are having a little bit of recovery here on Bitcoin dominance, but that's that's definitely not enough, at least for now, to speculate that there is going to be any rebound here. So far, it's just a slight, micro reaction, really. Unless we do not engulf this red candle with this current green one, we can easily expect we will continue this downtrend here, and Bitcoin dominance will keep declining. That's my expectation of it. As you probably remember, I was showing this uptrending line here for quite a long time, and I was betting on it going down, and it was refusing to go down for a very extended amount of time. But finally it gave up and it had to dive below it. And in my opinion, this is a harbinger of the end, finally, of Bitcoin dominance behaving this clumsy. I think it will gain a proper speed, a proper pace on the way down. Of course, the G's finally will kick in, right? The gravitational acceleration, and we will see altcoins booming, probably, so at least partially, some sort of capital rotation from Bitcoin into the altcoin sphere. Probably also top 50 will rotate their capitals too, because that's the group of altcoins that have been performing somewhat well recent years. In total, that's standing in total opposition to what coins out of top 50 were demonstrating. Those were getting crushed, time after time. So yeah, it will have to kick in. Capital rotation will have to kick in because it's just an opportunity, a too easy opportunity for the big boys to make money there, because they can scoop it up at so cheap and pump it with little to zero resistance, attract retail again, sometime late in the rally, maybe even at the very top, and then dump on them. November has 30. Okay, so 12 days, 11/12 days. So yeah, so it's not that far off. So I think, listen, if you're badly down now, I think it's worth the wait until end of first week of December, and if nothing happens, then you decide if you want to get rid of your tokens at loss that big as it is, or I don't know, or maybe you want to DCA into a little bit more. But anyway, I think you should wait until the end of first week of December. I think right now is not a good time to be making big decisions. I think you should give yourself a little bit of a wait here. So yeah. And to support my words here, let me again show you what Jim Cramer has been saying. So here he said, "Wow, a miserable close! Holy cow, that was yesterday." This was about S&P 500, and S&P 500 actually did not open today that bad. When we go over to S&P 500, as you see, so far the daily is in green. I mean, it was doing better before, but it's still in the green. Okay, so it opened, it pumped, then it dumped, and now it's consolidating, but no disaster to be seen, as Jim Cramer suggested. And this one is from today. Almost feels like a cabal is trying to keep Bitcoin above 90K. I like Bitcoin, but I do not like any of the derivatives created to play it or game it or mine it. So yeah, I read it also as a bearish post, right? So right now we are, below 90K, but it probably should not take very long. Like we come back where we were and start to perform. Probably not today, but I will not be surprised if we come back above 90K in a very convincing fashion sometime this week. I think we are literally very, very close to the very end of this downward move here. Also, given the look of this formation here, when we compare it against previous instances of this sort of market behavior, and let me mark it again here for you. This actually has been happening multiple times before. Very, very similar structures happened here. Oh my god, I'm really bad at drawing it here. Okay, you get what I mean, right? More or less. I think it's kind of easy to spot. So here, of course, you have a large deviation, somewhat larger deviation of previous instances, but calculate a effect of habituation into it. Habituation, weakens every single next stimulus, meaning that every single next one has to be slightly stronger in order to grant the same effect. So that's how I read it, right? That's why this fallout here is slightly larger than at previous times, because since it happens so many times, that does not do the same job. So this time it has to be a little bit slightly stronger. So we make people panic. Market makers make people panic, same as it was happening before. And then again, we will come back and probably score even new all-time highs. That's how I see it. I mean, it is possible we are starting a bear market on Bitcoin. It is possible. I said yesterday on my algorithm, we are, nibbling at the bearish territory. We are like with big toe, one big toe on the bearish side right now. It's still unconfirmed. It needs much more confirmation to say it, let's say, firmly. So it's definitely way too early to make claims that big. But yeah, technicals, I will not deny. Technicals want to convince you Bitcoin is entering a bear market, but it does not match with the sentiment. What is the sentiment at the peak of the cycle? I always say bull markets end with popping champagne bottles, not in despair. That completely does not match how bull markets ended throughout the history. Not even once it happened. Bull markets ended like that. Any bull market never have ended like that. Has ended like that. So that is why it will be very, very weird, exceptionally weird. And that would be a signal either for a very weak bear market or a continuation of a bull market. So even if we get a bear market, because everyone is betting on a bear market, it would have to be very, very weak. Nowhere near to how it looked in the past. So like minus 50, minus 70, minus 80% drops. It is possible, but since this is a zero-sum game, it means if everyone is right and small amount of people is wrong, it means the reward is very small. So that means the bear market would have to be kind of wimpy for the bears, of course. So yeah, that's how I see it. Okay, guys, allow me to wrap it up for now, and don't forget about liking and subscribing the content. Don't forget about throwing something at high tech, since I think this is the best trade on the whole of internet. Don't overinvest here though. Just throw something that you can forget about. Investments like that usually turn out to be the best. With the Bitcoin, look at the Bitcoin. Those that were buying it in 2010, 2011 for cents, like 50, 60 cents, forgot about it for a couple of years. They turn out to be very happy later on. So I recommend you to do the same, do exactly the same here. And let me do the work. This is the meme coin I lead. It will grow together with growth of my YouTube channels, of my social media. And like I said, I'm a very stubborn individual. It's kind of a stock market of my social media. That's how you should understand it. So to me, its success is already written in the stone of the destiny, right? And those that, let's say, doubt me, well, they're up for a very bad surprise. They're up for realizing, what kind of a person I am, what kind of individual I am, how immensely, infinitely stubborn